Hello everybody and welcome back to the Yogi Blair YouTube channel, and happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there, whether you're the mother to a human or a dog or otherwise. We love you and we appreciate you and thank you for everything that you do for us. I made this class today for my mom, Debbie. You are my best friend, you're one of my favorite people in the entire world, and I just feel so lucky and privileged to be able to call you my mom. My mom is one of the fiercest, strongest, intelligent, most amazing people that I've ever met in my life. She's a goddess, and I love you so much, Mom. And this class is going to be a Restorative Yin class, which is one of my favorite styles of yoga. I love the fluidity and the movement of flow classes. I love getting my heart rate up and I love moving, but I also like taking a moment to just sit and restore and feel grounded and take some time to meditate. And I thought that this would be the perfect class for Mother's Day because I think every mom out there needs a break, needs a moment to take for yourself. So this class is for my mom and everybody that works in the office with my mom. My mom works with a group of fierce, incredible ladies that are all mothers, whether it's to dogs or humans. So I hope everybody enjoys this class. Restorative Yin is Yin yoga, which is stretching for 3 to 5 minutes in each pose, really working the deep tissues of the body, stretching out those tight areas where our fascia has stiffened up, and it works scar tissue and things like that as well. And Restorative Yin incorporates props. So we use the props to support us so that we don't have to do any work. We can just relax and be for a little while. And it really, the act of the props holding you up, you feel a sense of being restored when you're done. I sometimes refer to this class, for those that are new to it, as adult nap time because it is so amazing. Classrooms, typically if you go to a group class and you take a Restorative Yin class, we dim the lights, there are candles, it's just a calming and amazing experience. And this class today, you don't even need a yoga mat. So if you have an area, whether you're in your office or you're at home, wherever you are, this class is accessible. You don't need a yoga mat as long as you have somewhere that's comfortable to lay. And you don't really need anything other than stuff that you definitely have around your house. I grabbed some pillows off of my guest bed and just some nice longer pillows that we can use almost as a bolster. I have a couple throw pillows here for maybe a little extra support if we need them. I grabbed a couple different shapes and sizes. And I grabbed a blanket. Blankets are always important in a Restorative Yin class. And I do have some yoga blocks. These aren't necessary. If you don't have yoga blocks, you might want a couple extra pillows. These I grabbed on Amazon. I think they were under $5, and I got them on Amazon Prime, so they were at my house in 2 days. So if you want yoga blocks, just go on Amazon and grab a pair. And then proper attire for restorative yoga, I think, is a little different than if you're going to a flow class or a power class. Power classes, I like to have my leggings that there's no loose fabric, so my clothes aren't getting in the way. My shirts are form-fitting so that I don't have fabric in my face when I'm in down dog. However, I think with restorative yoga, whatever you're comfortable in is fine. If you want to wear sweatpants, if you want to wear pajama pants, if you want to wear, anything, because we're not moving fluidly, we're holding poses for 3 to 5 minutes. So whatever you're comfortable in, maybe grabbing a pair of socks. We tend to get hot in our flow classes, and then when we slow things down for restorative, we can get a little chilly. So I made sure to grab a comfy sweater before getting started. Maybe you're in your office, or maybe you're at home. If you're at home, just finding a nice comfortable space where you won't be disturbed. Feel free to turn on your salt lamps if you have those. Maybe light some candles, burn some incense, really setting the tone here. This is your time to relax and you deserve it. So do it, maybe putting on some spa music or meditation music, whatever you want to do it. And then we're gonna go ahead and get started with our first restorative pose. So let's take, if you have yoga blocks, we can use those. If you have a couple extra throw pillows, that'll be fine as well. We're gonna create a wedge with these blocks and one of our pillows. So I personally like to have my first block on the highest setting and my second block on the medium setting. You can put one on the medium and one on the low if you need that. Or stacking your throw pillows so they're kind of at an incline. And sometimes it takes a while to get these things situated to where they're comfortable, so you might need to adjust, that's fine. And then we're gonna take one of our pillows, placing it on top of our blocks here. And then we can take some throw pillows here, setting them to the side so we can easily grab them when we're ready. And we're gonna find a restorative Supta Baddha Konasana. So Baddha Konasana is bound angle, meaning the soles of the feet are together, and we typically fold forward here for traditional Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha Konasana, we recline. So we're gonna turn our sacrum towards the end of our wedge that we've made, bringing the soles of the feet together, whatever distance is comfortable. We can take those pillows and put them underneath the knees so that we're not doing any work to hold the knees up. The knees are being completely supported here, so you might need something else here too. You could take a blanket and put it underneath the knees if you need more cushion, or another pillow or two. And then we're gonna take the sacrum, lining it up with that lowest block, and just starting to recline. You may need to hold on to that block as you lower. Once you put enough pressure on it, it'll be stable, and then maybe reaching and grabbing that highest block. The back of the head should be resting on that block. And then the hands can be on the belly, they can be at your sides, they can be resting on your knees, or on a couple more pillows, whatever's comfortable. And we'll be here a few minutes, so just closing the eyes. These classes where we slow things down provides us with an opportunity to practice mindfulness a little bit, I think, easier than when we're constantly moving. In Yin Yoga, we hold poses for 3 to 5 minutes. And mindfulness is the art of focusing on the present moment in its entirety. So we're not thinking about something that happened in the past. Whether the past was a week ago, a year ago, or a minute ago. Letting go of things that happened even this morning. And we're not planning the future. We're not thinking about grocery lists. We're not thinking about what needs done around the house. We're not thinking about the errands we have to run or the plans we need to make. We're focusing on this present moment, and we do that by bringing awareness to our breath. Maybe mentally noting to yourself that you're breathing in and that you're breathing out. Maybe it's easier to count the inhalations and the exhalations. Not trying to necessarily get the breath to a certain count, but counting the natural rhythm of the breath. You may start to notice over time that the breath elongates on its own. And you'll notice from time to time that the mind starts to wander. We start to attach to thoughts and ideas and memories and plans. Trying to practice non-attachment for the next few minutes. It's human nature for the mind to wander, and you can't stop it from thinking. But what you can do is practice that non-attachment. Acknowledging those thoughts with compassion, not judging yourself for the mind wandering, just acknowledging the thoughts, setting them off to the side, knowing they'll be there when you're done with your practice, and returning to the breath. And then after your next exhale, maybe fluttering the eyes open, or you can keep them closed. We're going to take the hands wherever they are and just gently ground into wherever you are, whether it's the floor or maybe you're practicing in bed if you can't lay on the floor. And just we're going to lift the torso slowly coming up. Your blocks might move, just be careful. You can also roll off to the side and then press yourself up. We're going to remove our pillow. We're going to get our blocks, bring everything in a pile. And then lifting ourselves up, so now we're in seated. Let's find a restorative seated forward fold. So this is Paschimottanasana. Typically in Paschimottanasana, we flex through the feet, flex through the legs, maybe the heels even lift off the mat, and we hinge forward, folding at the hips. Now here, I don't really want you to flex anything. I want you to see what it feels like to soften from the waist down here. So we're not flexing, we're not engaging, we're just letting go. And then to make this a restorative fold so we don't have to pull ourselves forward, we're going to use our props, and we're going to set maybe a pillow is all you need, and you can fold forward and rest your cheek on your pillow. Maybe the hamstrings are tight. Maybe the lower back is tight. Maybe everything is tight. We might need more than just one pillow or bolster. You can take 2 pillows and we can hinge forward here. You could take a pillow and a folded up blanket. Softening that in. And maybe this is good to support the upper body, but you need a little more for the head. You can take a throw pillow or a block even. Maybe turning to one side, or the forehead can turn to your pillow or block. And maybe adjusting, maybe you need to pull everything closer. And just hinging at the hips here, folding forward. You can take the hands and just rest them gently on your props. And again, just closing the eyes. And just noticing what it feels like to not be worrying, to not be dwelling, planning, working, to be focused on this present moment, to be focused on the breath, and to be completely supported I think a Restorative Yin class is a good idea for Mother's Day because we are being supported by these props. And it's almost symbolism for the mothers out there, how they're always supporting us. And they give all of their energy, all of their time. And this gives us a chance to feel that same support. Mother's Day is a time where we come together and we support our moms. And it should be more than one day a year. We should always have a community where we can support mothers and give them some extra love. Taking a couple more deep breaths here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. And just noticing what it feels like to take deep breaths. So often, as adults, we only breathe with the top half of our lungs. Noticing what it feels like to take full breaths, using the full capacity of our lungs. The heart rate begins to slow. We start to feel calm. Anxiety and stress are reduced. Taking a few deep breaths can even help lower blood pressure. After your next exhale, removing your props, gently rising, lifting the torso. And then let's find a restorative child's pose. So we're going to swing the knees around, coming to hands and knees. The big toes will touch, and we'll take the knees as wide as we can. And we're going to take those pillows or bolsters, whatever you have, and bring them between the knees. And again, stacking whatever props you want. Maybe you want 2 pillows. Maybe you want a pillow and a blanket. Whatever's comfortable. And then we're just going to hinge forward. Now, if you decide that this is too much and you need a little more, you can take a pillow or a block or whatever you have and add a little extra support for the head. Softening in, trying to let go of tension. The hips are a very tense area. We hold a lot of emotional pain, physical pain in this area. The hips are often one of the most tight spots on the body. So just seeing if we can take an inhale and imagine breathing in relaxation and sending that breath and that relaxation to the area that feels the tightest. And on the exhale, seeing if we can release tension through the nose, feeling that muscle group soften. Inhaling, sending breath to any areas of tightness, and exhaling that tension through the nose. And just noticing if the thoughts have started to wander. And again, practicing compassion, not judging yourself for what the mind naturally does, acknowledging the thoughts, coming back to the breath. And then we'll inhale to rise, grounding the hands into the floor, lifting the torso, and sending our props off to the side. And then from here, let's find a restorative fish pose. Swinging the legs around. We're going to create that wedge again. And if you have blocks and it's comfortable, you could just recline onto your blocks. If you like, you can take this block so that the long edge is facing up, and that'll just go in between the shoulder blades. And depending on how open your shoulders and your back are, that might be comfortable. It might feel kind of nice. It might not. And if it doesn't, we can take any of our pillows here. Maybe you have a longer throw pillow, such as this one, that you can lay along those blocks. And here, we're going to just recline onto the blocks, sending the feet long this time. And if you'd like, you can take a pillow, putting it under the knees for a little more support. And you can take your other throw pillows, bringing them at the sides to rest the hands on. Being mindful as we come down onto our wedge. And then softening in here. And coming back to that method of focusing on the breath, whether you want to note the breath, saying you're breathing in and you're breathing out to yourself, or maybe you want to count the breath in your head. You can count rhythmically, inhaling for 1, exhaling for 2, inhaling for 1, exhaling for 2. maybe grabbing back onto that block to slowly rise up. And we're just gonna remove the pillow and the blocks, or the pillows. And let's take, if you have a pillow under your knees, let's remove that. And let's bend the knees up towards the chest, taking that pillow at the sacrum here. Maybe you want to grab 2 pillows. And then we're going to turn those knees to the right, stacking the knees, bringing them up as much as possible. They don't have to go that far. And then we're going to twist the body so that we're facing the pillows. And again, you can take a pillow for the face or a block for the face as well. And then from here, we can either come straight down, resting the forehead on the pillows, or if available, we can turn so that our left cheek is on the pillows. If the neck doesn't allow for that twist, you can put the right cheek on the pillow instead. So lining our hips up with our pillows, twisting to the left cheek, and just bringing the hands to frame your pillows for a little twist. If this becomes too intense, you can always walk the knees further away from the body. Grounding into the hands, we're going to lift the torso, and we're going to find this on the other side. So you can lift the hips, set the knees off to the other side, or if you want to twist around. Readjusting, making sure that we stack the knees, that the spine and the hips are aligned here, so you don't want the hips going in the opposite direction. And then turning the torso towards your pillows, trying to bring that right cheek down. And again, if the neck doesn't allow for this twist, you can always turn the head back in the same direction as the knees. Twists are good for anxiety. They're calming. They also help detoxify the body by sort of wringing out the organs, so to speak. Twists also help with digestion. Noticing if you started to lose track of the breath and just coming back to that breath. And after your next exhale, lifting up the torso, removing your pillows. And then our final pose for tonight is going to be legs up the wall. So coming to a wall, if you can. And you can lay flat on the floor if that's comfortable, or you can take some pillows. You could make a wedge again and recline onto that. So you can bring one hip to the wall and then just swing the legs up, lining the sits bones with the wall, reclining onto your back here. And then you can also take a blanket for this final pose. And even though this isn't corpse pose, this isn't Shavasana, this is where we will take our Shavasana, which isn't just a pose, it is the end of our practice where we take a few moments to meditate, to sit in stillness, practicing mindfulness and meditation. This signifies the death of our practice. Closing the eyes, softening the shoulders away from the ears. Just taking a couple of moments here to breathe. And then we'll slowly start to come back to the room, inviting gentle movement into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes. We can put the soles of the feet on the wall, bending the knees, walking the feet closer to the midline, and just letting the feet fall off to one side, supporting yourself in a fetal position. And taking a moment here for gratitude. Being grateful for the women in our lives that gave us life, that taught us important lessons, that were there for us when nobody else was, that supported us. Sending a little gratitude to them, sending love to them. And if you are a mom, sending a little love and gratitude towards yourself. Using the hands, we can press ourselves up to a seated posture. Let's inhale, lifting the arms up overhead, exhaling hands to heart center. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. I wish happiness and freedom to all living things, and may the words, thoughts, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to happiness and freedom for all. Friends, thank you so much for watching. Namaste.